Welcome to the Blue City, everybody.
Chefchaouen is probably one of the prettiest cities we've seen in Morocco because of its blue washed streets and buildings. That's why it got nicknamed the Blue Pearl of Morocco. Most of the buildings in the Medina are painted blue, as are their doors and windows. Seen from afar, the Chefchaouen Historic Center is overpowered by this color, which almost merges with the sky that around here is typically cloudless. As for its real name, Chefchaouen, it comes from the city's location between two mountainous peaks, since chef means look, and Chaouen means horns. But let's return to the issue of the city being painted blue. Reports of the city being blue have existed since the 15th century. But now there are many theories to this, including that painting buildings blue was a Jewish tradition, as blue reminded people of the sky and ultimately God. Other theories are that blue keeps mosquitoes away, or it represents the ocean, and blue paint helps to keep the buildings cooler in the searing heat. Or, it may just be kept blue to keep the tourists coming, who knows? Whatever the true reason for the blue color might be, up until today the locals still apply a fresh coat of paint on their houses about twice a year. The amount of time you want to spend in Chefchaouen really depends on what you want to see and do. We spent about 2 days there. If you only have a limited amount of time in Morocco, I'd say that 1 full day should be enough to discover the Blue Pearl, as the old Medina of Chefchaouen isn't very big. So what is it worth visiting in a short Chefchaouen stay? Firstly, it is important to say that it's pretty easy to get around Chefchaouen by foot and by taxi. We mostly walked, but I recommend having a map or using a phone with data to use Google Maps, as some of the directions can be tricky. The city is built on a hill, so be prepared for a lot of uphill walking. That being said, walking is the best way to experience the city, as there are tons of narrow streets that cars can't access. Step 1 on any trip to any Moroccan city is to travel to the Medina. It's the heart of the community and the center of life. Bring your camera and come hungry. My top tip for visiting is to go as early as possible to avoid crowds and queuing for photo spots. You won't mind getting lost here, as you never know what pretty spot you could find. Then discovers that there are truly countless things to buy in Chefchaouen. Here they have plenty of boutiques selling all things such as textiles, spices, clothes, carpets, handicrafts, art, aromatherapy, slippers, and leather, all the way down to your typical touristy shops selling the regular fare. La Botica de la Abuela Aladdin, which sells handcrafted soaps, was one of my top choices. A lot of the things on offer were handmade in Morocco. However, haggling here I found much harder than in Marrakesh and Fez, so you may struggle to find a good price. Chefchaouen is the perfect place for a scenic hike, and a great spot to get a view of the city is from the Spanish Mosque. This is the most famous spot to visit for sunset in the Blue City, and it's easy to tell why. It provides the most amazing view of the Blue City with a dramatic backdrop of the mountains. It's a quick 15-minute hike uphill from the main city and notoriously busy with tourists. But, saying that, I'd say it's definitely worth your time, plus it's free. Finally, and if they still have time, choose from guided excursions that will take you up into the Rif Mountains, or plan a solo trip. If you are traveling in the summer, just be sure to plan for the heat. The sun can get intense up there, especially during the afternoon. Before we go, we want to point out 2 historical landmarks that are worth visiting. First, the Al Hada Square. You should not leave Chefchaouen without visiting this picturesque square. It is located on Rue Chefchaouen. It has unique architecture. The word Hada means surrounded or walled in. There are blue tiled buildings with classic arches and iron grills encircling the square. The floor is beautifully patterned and cobbled. In the middle of the square, there is a 4-sided fountain from where the locals get drinking water. You can sit on one of the benches here, have a drink, relax, and of course take lots and lots of photos. Second, Oda El Hammam Square. This is the main square of the Medina. This is a place where you can see the main Kasbah, the most important and historical building in the town, now a museum. The Big Mosque, the most important religious building in the town. and some souvenir shops and restaurants. Here is where people meet, and always there are music and shows. Lunch or dinner here, while you see the people moving in and out, is fantastic.